Okay. Well, looks like we're live here today. How is everyone doing? How's everyone's week been? See, Carl, Wayne, and Judy are all on here today. Carl, have you been on one of our calls before?
I have not.
Okay, that's cool. Well, welcome. Usually usually what we do in these calls is just if you guys have any questions or anything like that, um, raise your hand, throw it in chat, let me know what the question is, or just shout out what if you have any questions about setting anything up, or if you're trying to make anything work in high level, um, do our best to answer all those questions. Um, And for those who weren't on Tuesday or maybe missed, we switched we moved a step. We didn't move a step, but in the setup process we made things a little bit easier for you guys. And I'll just do another recap because it was what we've been working on this week. Is when we add a rewards location, rewards, and I think we also set it up for video testimonials too. The leaderboard link, the management link. When you add a new location, it'll automatically add that leaderboard link to that sub account now. So it removes the step of having to copy this link, go into custom menu links, set up that link, and then add the locations to it. Or if you already have the custom menu link already set up in there, it'll remove the step of having to go in and add the new location um, to that custom menu link. So we set it up now so that once you add a location to the licensing here, it's automatically going to create that custom menu link, which, saves you about 5 minutes on setup, which is nice, stops you from having to jump around and do things. So there's that. And then we've also been working on um, finishing up, this is just the Google Doc side of things, is more of a front end customer. Something you can hand off to the customer, like a PDF or a printout or something. It's like, here's how you create your first promotion. Here's how you redeem that promotion inside your system. And here's how you send out some messages as well. So this is just in the Google Doc format right now. I think we have something similar actually in our portal.trainerly.net here that we have around like the point system and setting up promotions and stuff like that. Um, it's under probably automated rewards training. Here's how to create different rewards, how to create different promotions, stuff like that are in here as well. Automated promotion system. So this is how to create the promotions. And then we're having some more front end stuff of like how they redeem it, how do they go into their POS and create that promotion or that offer too. So while we don't have specific like training from our end, there are lots of YouTube videos on here's how you create an offer inside your POS system. So we've got that set up there, and then we're going to put this in a nice PDF format in Canva so that you guys can brand it, do whatever you want with it, and then it'll be really good for to hand off to customers so they kind of have an easy guide of what to do. So that's kind of some of the stuff we've been working on this week.
Jason, could you put that link for the YouTube video in the chat, please?
Which YouTube video?
The one that you just were on that Google Doc that you were just showing us.
I can put the Google Doc, yeah, in there.
Okay.
You want the link, can view it here. So we're adding in some more images and stuff in there too, but then we'll have a Canva link shortly as well, probably by next week here. Finish this all up over the weekend and have it in a really nice format. I kind of have visions of this looking more like a kind of a board game rule book or something like that, just something looking really nice and easy to follow. Um, so that when you're handing this off to a customer, they have kind of their own little playbook of how to do things too.
I
So,
was curious while you were explaining that how many customers do you have with the loyalty and rewards that Like, do they ever ask you for you to just do all the promotions for them?
all the time.
And do you?
Yes. Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you
like
charge extra?
that's usually how we do things because we're running ads for most of our clients as well. So we'll create the promotions and everything for them. All they usually do is they redeem the coupons, and then we give them reporting at the end. So they see customers coming in on their end, but they don't handle anything else on as far as like, we don't they usually don't even go back into high level or anything like that. So we'll create the promote. We have a couple of customers who are tech savvy enough that they'll go and do it on their own. But I've even found if you don't stay on top of them and remind them to keep using it, they kind of slowly stop because like I always say this, but you have to think of it in terms of you're helping them build a new habit in their business, right? They're not
Right.
used to doing marketing, they're not used to doing promotions and putting stuff out there. So we try to help them out as much as we can, and we have packages that will do that. And if we're running ads for them, then we'll just set it up. It just makes sense. It doesn't take us very long to create those different promos. Like you have a conversation with them, give them a reporting, tell them what's going on, try and figure out, if they want to change up their promotions for the next month kind of thing, or what kind of events they have coming up. It takes us you can maybe half an hour at most to go create graphics and create new promotions and stuff like that, and you can have someone on your team do it. But it's fairly simple, and you have to do that only like once a month because you can pre-schedule stuff, right? So you can schedule things to show up and go and show up in the promotions hub or disappear from the promotions hub on its own, and then you don't have to. It's like a little bit of work one day for the month, and then if you're running ads for them, then obviously you have to like manage that and watch that kind of thing. But those are fairly simple to set up as well because you're just taking the promotional graphics that you already created for the promo and putting that into like an ad format. Maybe you change the wording just a little bit, but it's fairly simple. So
Okay.
and you'll just find. I've always found this is that people are good at what they're good at, right? If they're opening a store, they're opening up a restaurant, stuff like that, they're generally good at the cooking, the management of the store, doing that kind of thing. The reason why they need help with marketing is because they're not good at marketing. So even for them to be like, what kind of promo should I have? What kind of offer should we create? They need guidance on that as well. So, I think in some of our launch lab training, we go over a ton of that kind of stuff, and that just talks about like what kind of offers you can create and what kind of promotions. We always say like the better the promotion, the more people you're going to have come in, right? The more people who are going to redeem that offer, and our goal is to get people through the door, right? Because they're even like let's say for example, for somebody, if you're like, oh, we'll give you a free appetizer when you join the VIP program choose from one of these five appetizers. Usually it costs the restaurant a couple dollars for that appetizer, but nobody's generally coming in just getting that appetizer and leaving. You know what I mean? They're not going to come in for, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I just want my free basket of fries and then I'm going to go. They're going to order drinks, they're going
Right.
to order some other food. They're going to like for the most part. You do get a couple cheapskates who would just come in for their free appetizer. That happens every once in a while, but it's not the norm. So our whole goal is we want to get people into um the goal, the store. Courtney, you just said what is that page where all the training is? Can you drop in the chat? Yeah. So there's let's go back to this is like a front end one that we created, portal.trainerly. So we call it trainerly just for we registered that domain. And then we've got train like front end training um for your customers to kind of go through. It doesn't say anything about high level. It doesn't say anything about us. It doesn't say, it just has training on how to create promotions, how to create referral like points, all that kind of stuff. Um, for the restaurant customers. That way they can go in and they can see how to use the system. What I'm doing here is kind of like a quick start. Here's kind of like a quick start, why we'd want to use it. Also, kind of doing a little bit of like a little bit of mindset stuff here at the start where I'm talking about, the difference between, I mean, because I've had this conversation with a lot of people, is the difference between spending $1,500 on in, the local paper or a billboard or something like that versus really using the promotion system to get customers through, right? You do $1,500 for a billboard or a print ad or something like that. You don't know who's seen it. You don't know if you have more customers coming in, but you spend $1,500 giving away, appetizers and getting people on a list. Now you've got 500 people on a list. Plus, you've made a bunch of extra money from it and from people redeeming those coupons. And now you can message those customers anytime that you want. So it's just that you're building a marketing system. So this is going to go into a PDF and make it look a lot nicer, and then I'll have that out for you guys too, so that you guys can give that to your customers. And then it'll be in Canva, and you guys can update graphics and add your logo and stuff like that if you want to. Awesome. So there's that. So this is something you'd send to the customer if they want to set it up themselves. Yeah. Oh yeah, like Courtney, yeah, like again, like I just said with Judy, if we can make it so that the customers don't have to go in to do anything, that's like the ideal situation for them, right? For you keeping them on, two things, like again, you have a good chat with them, understand what they need to have done that month, like what promotions can we offer? What's one promotion that we can push out this month? That kind of thing. Like, oh, this month get um 20 or this week get 2 for 1 burgers or something like that. I don't know what it is, but something like that. Save 10% on your order, or something. Create those promotions, schedule them week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have those set up, and then they don't have to do anything. And you can just at the end of the month, you can be like, here's the reporting for the month. Here's how this promotion went. You had this many clicks, this many coupons redeemed, and this how much money was reported from this coupon. This is how much, and you can go through for the month. This is how many coupons were redeemed. Here's the average order people said that they spent, and here's your estimated return on investment for this entire campaign. And that's how we have that reporting page. And then you talk to them, okay, what's a couple things you'd like to promote this month, right? And then come up with 4 items, create the graphics for it, and get them scheduled in the system. It doesn't take very long to do that. A quick conversation, probably 15 minutes, and then probably another 15 minutes to go. If you have some photos, you can go and create those graphics using Canva really, really simply, because you want to create your own brand template and get them in there. And then you're usually pretty good to go. Then you don't have to do too much, especially if you've already set up like their QR code. They don't have to go into high level. Like most of our clients don't ever go into high level. They don't go into the tech. We get a few clients who want to, but that's because they're geeky like me and they want to get in there and they want to play around and they'll have the idea of automations and creating their marketing and stuff like that. And you'll just know who those customers are because they'll geek out over marketing with you. Oh, we could do this. That'd be cool. Like you'll see that, right?
Yeah. What kind of pricing packages do you offer with
Um,
that?
we have 297, 497, and 897 or 797. 297 is they do it themselves. 497 is we will do what we just talked about, where we'll set up their ads, we'll set up their promotions and stuff for them, have those conversations with them. And then the 797, might be 897 now, is we run ads plus they pay for ad spend as well. So we usually recommend at least $10 a day. Um, $10 being like the lowest amount that they can throw in there, and then we'll run those ads for them.
And if they have multiple locations, that's per location, that pricing? Or you work out a different deal?
It depends on you can work out whatever deal you want, but it all
Yeah.
depends on how those different locations are set up. So if they're sharing customers, if they're okay with that, if they're good with sharing the promotions from one location to another, that's fine. It depends on it depends on who the owners are. And if they have like one, sometimes if you have like one owner that has multiple locations and they're like, this is what I want to do, then no problem. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have like a franchise situation where you have different owners for different locations,
Yeah.
and then you have to figure something out, right? Because they can't you just want to make sure, okay, well, this is the Fifth Street location you can do this at, but you can't do it at the downtown one or whatever, you know what I mean? Um, so you have to figure that out with them. And then I mean, feel free to like give them better pricing if you want on different things. If they have multiple locations, you can give them a discount. For first one is the regular price, and second ones, are 50% off or something like that. You can do that if you want.
Yeah. Okay. And when you set up you're doing Facebook ads, right?
Yes.
And when you set up a Facebook ads account, you set it up with under their name with their credit card.
Yeah, you would again that's kind of more getting more into things, but um you and I'm not the expert on Facebook ads, but you can do it a number of ways. You can get them to pay. We do a couple different ways. So we have some clients who just pay us their ad spend, and then we put it on our credit cards, and then we use our credit cards because we also earn points on our credit cards too. So if you get the customer to give you the ad spend money, and then you put that money on your credit card, and then you're running all your ads through your credit card that you get points, then you're earning air miles and stuff like that too, right? When you're paying for those ads. So that's not a bad way to go. You just have to make sure that you're managing their money, and then the other way is they put their credit card in. Now, you have more control, obviously, when it's on your credit card. And the one, if you haven't run ads before, or if you have run ads before, you might know that if you have the client's credit card information in there, you're not sometimes the bank will block a credit card kind of thing. It'll just say like, "Oh, we don't exactly know what's going on with this whole Facebook ads thing," and they might consider it fraudulent, and then they'll put a hold on the card, and then you have to call the credit card company and get them to release it. Or like it happens all the time. It happens with our cards and everything as well. They just not sure what the charge is. So you call and then they just say, "Oh yeah, no, that was us." And then they're like, "Okay," and then they release it and then you can go again. The problem is when you're running ads and then your credit card stops and then Facebook can't charge your credit card, then your ads all stop and then you have to redo your ads and get them running again. And you may lose some traction, but they're not complicated ads to run because we're just dealing with food and local area. It's not like you have to be like I want a specific target demographic of people who are interested in this, this, and this. You're like, I need to find people who like to eat, people who want food, people who are hungry. So it's just you can just basically do the same ad to the local population of an area. Anybody who is over, 16 and up, women or men, doesn't really matter, and you can just run ads for them and just show them food, and it makes it a lot easier. And you just need to have some great food photos. I was having a good conversation with uh, who did I have a conversation with the other day? They actually do some restaurant marketing themselves. They do use influencers and stuff like that. It was really interesting. So I was chatting with him. They'll go out and they'll find actually we're going to talk about this later, but they'll go out and they'll go to Fiverr. They'll pay somebody on Fiverr to find local influencers. Then they'll you can pay somebody $50 or something like that on Fiverr, and they'll go find all the local influencers that will do food stuff. And then they'll take that list, interview those guys, see what kind of stuff that they do, and then hire them. And that, you might have to pay, 500, $700 for that person to come in and create some content and stuff for you. But while they're doing their influencer video thing, they'll also get them to capture a bunch of B-roll, photography, photos, food photos, all that kind of stuff, because they'll sit there with them and be like, okay, get a picture of that, get a picture of that. And then in the contract they have, it's like, also give me the photos, along with doing the influencer thing. Give me all the photos you take and the extra B-roll video and stuff that you take. Now you've got the influencer thing that goes out with that guy's audience, but then you also, or that girl's audience, and then you also have all the B-roll photos and food and everything like that that you can now use for promotions and offers and all your ads and that kind of stuff too. So, that was something I learned from someone the other day, and I think it's an awesome idea. I mean, we've gone in and taken food photos ourselves, or get customers to take food photos because they can do it really good on their phone now. But
Yeah.
hiring an influencer and getting like a two for one kind of thing is kind of a fun idea as well.
Yeah, for sure. So all those prices that you were talking about that you do,
Yeah.
that's all US dollars?
For US clients, and then I've charged the same thing for Canadian clients too, because Canadian, if you're in Canada, Canadian clients still want to pay US dollars, you know. So in Canada, we'll typically do Canadian dollars, and US will do US dollars.
With those numbers that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So you charge at par, basically, right?
Yeah. Like you'll be surprised. Like the US dollar is definitely higher than like worth more than the Canadian dollar. I think it's like $1.40 or something like that right now. But when you cross the border, um, companies in the US are still paying that same price. Like it's not a cheaper price. So they're if they're used to paying $150 an hour to hire somebody to do something, that in Canada you're still paying $150 an hour. Unless you're hiring somebody from the States, then you're paying the 150 US per hour. But yeah, it's not like we charge $150 Canadian an hour, and then in the US we charge $120 an hour or something like that. You can use your own judgment on it, but I know like with our software and stuff like that, we charge US. It just depends. Like when we're selling stuff in Canada, we typically sell it in US dollars, but when we're talking with clients in Canada, we're talking Canadian dollars for sure.
So when you're selling software like the Go High Level software?
Yeah, like our power tool stuff.
Yeah.
That's in US dollars, pretty much across the board. Um, and then, but when we're working with clients, you have the discretion of whatever you want to charge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you're a Canadian company and you're going to talk to Canadian companies, I would definitely charge them in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll be
I'm
thrown
just
off.
wondering,
They'll
like,
be thrown off if you're like, oh, you go talk to them and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to charge you, it's 150 US an hour. And then they have to do the math of like how much is that. Then if you're going to do that, just say I'm charging you 200 an hour, or
yeah,
whatever it is,
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I would absolutely do that. I'm just wondering, like, if you're charging in US dollars, if you're charging like 297 US,
Yeah,
then to me, I would equate that to charge
it's
like
like
at least
400 Canadian.
397 Canadian or something like that.
You can do it again. Again, you have to take a look at the businesses though. Like a restaurant owner in California will pay 297. They're not thinking is it Canadian dollars or US dollars. It's just 297,
Yeah.
right? Same
Yeah.
thing in Canada. You go talk to a restaurant owner in Edmonton and you're like, it's 297. They're thinking it's Canadian, not US.
Yeah.
But you also have to think about what can they afford too, right? So it's just like, how do I explain it? It's like the perceived cost versus value. 297 mentally might be a great place to sell the software at, Doesn't matter if it's US. I'm not talking about the actual currency. I'm just talking about like the
The
number.
number, the
The
number.
number, right?
Yeah.
You can go into a restaurant and say it's going to be 297 a month and you're going to get this. But if you went in and said our base package is, it's
397.
$400, yeah, it's 397 a month, you know, then there'll be, and it doesn't matter if you're selling to a US client or a Canadian client. For this, is that number value slash value kind of worth it there? Are you going to are you going to sell them on it? So you have to play around with it because um it's just, yeah, that those are my thoughts on it anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
You're
Great.
you're selling you're selling a service, so the cost is it's a flat cost. It's not like you're selling a product that you have to pay for, and the
Yeah.
dollar amount matters between oh well, I had to buy this product in U.S. dollars. You're selling a service. You can just tell them the number and it works.
Yeah. You don't it's I agree. Yeah. It's yeah, you get too complicated when when you're trying to be like, oh well, it's Canadian dollars versus whatever. But it's just like you have to the different package levels. There's kind of like a reason why um there's there's a there's a reason why those numbers kind of work, right? It's because it's like this is kind of a comfortable spot where we can sell this package for this price. A product that you're selling where they're going to do it themselves, um, and it's something new that they don't know that they need. It's not like integral to their business. It's something that they're adding on. I've had clients happy to pay $300 a month. But if I went and told them it's $400 a month and they have to do it themselves, they'll be like, what am I paying for? You know what I mean? Um, but then
Yeah.
if you go
Oh, yeah.
497 or it's $500 a month, but we're gonna set this stuff up for you, okay, that's fine. And I don't think it has anything to do with the currency, but because like if you look at like let's just talk about food for a second. You go down to Dallas and you get a burger. It's going to cost you like burger and fries and a drink at like a good restaurant. It's going to cost you 20 some bucks. You come into Canada, you order burger, fries, and a drink. It's going to cost you 20 some bucks. It's the
Yeah.
same, like it's or charging this. They're charging the same amount in those restaurants, and it doesn't matter if it's Canadian or whatever. It's like I think I had a burger or a steak sandwich the other day. It was like $24. Steak sandwich in the U.S. $24. You're not finding the not like it used to be like it's not like it used to be like the old Taco Bell or something like that. It was like $2 for a burrito in Canada and 69 cents for a burrito in the States. It's not like that. The food costs are out there and they charge for that. So
Yeah. And it's fully understand. Yeah. The psychology of numbers is a big thing for sure.
yeah. Courtney just said, I like to look at it as selling a product. I love the idea of selling a product. I think we've done a couple calls around the whole idea of productizing your offer, productizing what you're selling in high level. You're not selling the tools and the this piece and that piece and miscall text back and stuff. I have a restaurant solution. I have a small business. I have a retail solution. I have these solutions that I put together and create it as a product and then be able to offer it because people will pay more for a product that specifically fixes the issue that they have versus yeah versus I have a bunch of randomly pieced together tools that are going to do this thing for you. If you've productized it and this is, what would be a good example of that? Like um well, even just high level itself. High level doesn't sell like it kind of does have, but it tells you all the tools that they have, but it's like this is perfect for these industries, that kind of thing. And that's exactly what they talked about in Dallas too, is kind of making their packages, making high level setups so that it's perfect for each one of these different industries. And you can basically go in and pick your industry, and then high level will set itself up so that you have the right amount of things or the right tools that you need for that industry. And that's productizing, right? That's taking we've got this big collection of tools over here. We could do almost anything, but let's pick these things because I know this is what you need, right? And then now this is the stage you're at. This is where you're at. This is the product you need. You need this product right here. And it does have a couple tools in it, but overall, it's going to get you this result. It's going to get you the result of getting more customers through the door and get those customers to come back more often.
Right. Right on.
So productizing is a great way to go about it. And you know what? I didn't even realize we were really doing that. And then somebody messaged me. It was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, and they like, we're restructuring everything that we do, and we're productizing it like you've productized your guys' stuff. And I was like, what? What did we even do? And then I realized, oh yeah, we totally have taken this and like because before our loyalty and reward system too was a bunch of different pieces. It's all a la carte. You could like take this piece, you could take the promotions, you could take the loyalty card, you could take that. But last year it was still a little bit confusing. So then that's where we created, okay, well, this is perfect for this is the restaurant one, and we set it up as a product for restaurants, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
so it makes more sense and it's easier to sell that then when you have it as this is the restaurant solution, right? This is the solution for hair salons. This is solution for, fitness businesses, that kind of thing, rather than being like, here's a collection of different tools that we piece together that, you can miscall text back and you can do all these different things. But when you put it into a package and say who this package is for, um, it's way easier to sell. And same thing when you're talking to businesses out there. If you're going in and saying, I have like a solution that we put together that'll works perfectly for you, and it's our retail package, and then they're like, oh, retail package. It's just like the same kind of thing. If you go into a restaurant and you say, I do restaurant marketing, and you go to chat with somebody and they're like, oh, you do restaurant marketing, like specifically, that's like a package that you're putting together, like you've put together, right? Oh, like this is the person I need to talk to. Right.
Yeah, right
So
on.
Courtney says with a product, you can implement a one-to-many model versus a one-to-one model, ultimately increasing your income potential. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. It makes sense. And the more we can like streamline onboarding and streamline setting up stuff like that. The nice thing about this is mostly when you get it rolling, there's not a lot you have to do. I like that, like, what was it, Jack? I forget it, the set it and forget it. You set it and forget it, you know?
Yeah.
I always like that idea. Is like, okay, well, we'll set it up for you, but there's not a whole lot that we have to do. So if we can automate most of it, um, then we can go on for the rest of the month, set a reminder that we have to take a look at it at the end of the month. But if you're only doing an hour work for a customer a month or something like that and helping them out and make sure they stay on board, um, that seems like a good deal.
Right on. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, I hope that's valuable. I know we talked about
Yeah, it was
Shannon and I were
valuable.
talking, we were doing the agency launch lab stuff and we kind of decided to close that down at the start of April. Um, we had still people part of the group, but less and less people were showing up to the calls, just because they were out there, they're working on stuff. So we kind of decided to close that down. But what we were talking about is just adding like a something like this, like a sales call, talking about sales and talking about getting out there and productizing, branding, that kind of stuff, creating your offer. Shan just did a good call yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was all about creating your offer and kind of getting more clear on what you're talking to businesses about. So um
It was great. I was on the
yeah, so
call.
it was a good, sorry, I just looked at chat. Courtney just asked a question. um
Yeah, I was on the
that
call.
seemed
It
like a good
was,
call. I think Judy, you were on there yesterday. Hey.
yeah, yeah, it was good. It
Yeah,
was great.
awesome. And then she'll have the replay for that if anybody wants it to just send a message and make sure she gets it to you. Are we doing anything about improving the onboarding process? Um, I don't, as much as I can, to be honest with you, like as much as we can, improve it. Like if I can take stuff away that doesn't have to be done by you or your team, then yeah, I'm doing it. So one of the things, and I mentioned this on Tuesday, but one of the things we just did was, and I think I mentioned at the start of the call today too, is you don't have to do the leaderboard link now. So you don't have to, it's still here. There's still training around it, but I automated that for you. So let me show my screen. Excuse me. Um, right here. So when you add a location now, it will check to see if you have the leaderboard link installed in your sub account or in your agency, and if you do, then it will add the location ID to that sub account link, and then the locate the that custom menu link is going to show up in that new sub account or the sub account that you've added already. So that's just like one step that we've taken away from there. And then if there is no leaderboard link in your system at all, then it will add the leaderboard link for you, and it'll be called rewards and promotions um, in that sub account. So that's one thing. Some of the stuff like settings and things like that, we have those on by default. If there's any other ideas of stuff that we could um, improve on, simplify, for the less techie stuff, that might be a good thing too. Um, so the replay is from the call from yesterday. I'll ask Shan for it because I don't have it in front of me. I wasn't on that call. I was doing a few other things. But anything that we can do to make onboarding more simple. There's still like you still have to download the snapshot and stuff like that and install the snapshot into sub accounts and do those things. I wonder like we might even be able to do something with that in the future here too, is take a look and when you add a location, add the sub account possibly for you too. Yeah, send a message and she can get you the link from it. I don't know where she did it. So it might be on her Facebook or it might be in the group, but she'll get you the link to the replay for sure. So anything we can do, yeah, like automation wise to help get the onboarding done a little bit faster. The yeah, the big things is we can't do much with right now is domains. Making sure that you have, and that's like 90% where the issue lies when setting up these sub accounts is setting up your domain and then adding it to funnels. That's like where most people have trouble. So just remembering that is to make sure you have your domain correct. That's going to solve like 90% of your problems. And then there's just filling out those custom values. And some of the stuff we did with the custom values already in here is we have default values in there, sign it kind of as suggestions. And then we've also made it too, right? So when you load up, um, that one doesn't have any custom values. I should check one, see why it says that. Um, Not that one, but I guess I'll have to take a look at it. Restaurant. The restaurant here, it'll have what this updates. It'll tell you exactly what each custom value is, and then it'll have default values in here for some of the stuff as well, so that you don't have to guess at it
Are
if
you
something's
meaning
already
to
put up.
share your screen there,
Oh
Jason?
yeah, let me share my screen. Yeah, so that's just some of the things that we've done with onboarding is put in custom default values for a restaurant, like for reward points and stuff like that in there. So yeah, again, if you guys have any feedback on how we could streamline the onboarding process or the setup process, I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on it. Um, do, 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 do. Yeah, and Courtney said he's good at relationship building to get prospects interested, but not so great with the tech part to deliver what I know the system could do. But you are learning. Yeah, I know. I mean, and that's part of it. One of the other things is possibly, having somebody more technical on your side, a VA that you can work with who can who can be trained on the system on how to set things up and get things rolling too. And then as a reminder, if you're paying somebody to be a VA and you want to have them on these tech calls so they can ask questions and how to get things set up and stuff like that, absolutely feel free to do that too. Or like I think we've offered in the past there too. If you guys need help with setups, reach out and we can help you get a sub account set up too. We charge $150 for a setup, but we'll go through and set up the custom values and the domains and stuff like that, and make sure that everything is working before we hand it off back to you, and then it can just be tweaked with customer promotions and stuff. What else? So what else I'm working on this week? Let's just chat about that for a second, since we don't really have any questions coming in. High Level just released an API for
Jason, before
creating.
before you do, I stepped
Yeah.
away so I can ask you this question.
Oh yeah.
Um, so on some of the when you're doing the custom values, they have a like the little learn more or whatever you call that button that
Yep.
tells you what that particular um custom value does, but it doesn't have an explanation on some of them. So
Been trying to go through and update all of them so they do have explanations. So the restaurant ones are mostly have the explanations now.
okay, okay, but I noticed that last time I was going through helping a client, I had got stuck because some of the things didn't have the explanations on them, so I had to kind of come back and research, which is not good when you're in
Right.
the middle of a sales call, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we have that. I know in the training there's a whole list of the custom values as well. This info button is exactly the same as what this one is, as well. So this is kind of the info button isn't so much needed anymore. Um, but yeah, we'll just go through and we'll continue to make sure that those custom values will say what the custom values are. So we tried to go through that in the last, I think, like a couple months ago, went through and tried to make sure that they're all in there.
Okay, and
And then
just to make sure,
also, uh,
I don't need to update anything, huh?
nope.
Um,
And then I went
okay.
through too and reorganized them so they're kind of more grouped in different collections. So all the points are together and all the rewards are together. Because what we're doing is we're pulling in custom values from your sub account, and High Level has them all um in alphabetical order, I think. So, in our system, we went and put like a sort order on there, and then we dictated like which, where in the list should they show up, kind of thing. So, we did that recently as well and added it in so that it made them all grouped together. So you have the business information at the top, and then you have social media share stuff together, and then referral points and stuff like that. So it's a little bit easier if you're using our back end to go and do that.
Okay, cool, man. Again, I want to thank you for always responding, always making the system better. It's powerful. I just got to keep learning,
Yeah,
keep
I
learning,
appreciate
and
that.
keep getting better with it, man. So thank
Yeah,
you
that's
again, Jason.
you're welcome, man. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Well, one of the cool things, what was I gonna say? Oh, one of the cool things High Level just came out with is an API for coupons. So, I'm excited to add in. I don't know exactly when it's going to get done, but we're going to make it so that with the rewards program, you'll be able to redeem those points for coupons that you can use inside of High Level as well. So you can use them in funnels and everything like that too. So you can essentially generate a coupon for a customer after they redeem points, and then they can use that coupon on a high level in a high level form there or in a checkout in high level too. So I think that would be really fun. And then yeah, that's it. And then we're kind of talking about creating some stuff that pops up on the screen too, if you're on checkout, but that'll be down the road. Um, okay, well, if does anybody have any questions before we kind of run off and get some work done today? Not really. Okay. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Um, and if you guys need anything, just reach out and let us know, and we'll be around to try to get everything that you guys need. All right. So you guys take care, and we'll talk to you guys again on Tuesday.
Thanks, Jason. Have a great weekend.